Hi everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here with a Christmas card project for you today, and I'm going to be using the new dies from Lifestyle Crafts. This is the Naughty and Nice release. Now the Naughty is all a bunch of dies that cut these different styles of bows, and I have cut out a few of them and assembled them here. I'm going to be using this one on the card. This is one I've cut out of felt here, and this is one just out of paper, but it's a couple of the bows that you will get in the Naughty kit. And I've also cut out a border and a doily shape from the Nice kit, and this is a couple more of the shapes that you get in the Nice kit. So they're kind of doily lacy shapes in the Nice kit and these really cool bows in the Naughty kit. So I'm going to be using some of those to create this card today. So today on my blog I'll have a bunch of those projects over there for you to see, featuring the Naughty and Nice release from Lifestyle Crafts. So head on over to Sprinkled with Glitter and you can see all the projects over there. But I'm going to jump right into this project today, and part of it's going to be showing me how, or showing you how I assemble the Naughty bow that I'm going to be using here. Now all of the bows do obviously require a little bit of assembly, but they come together so quickly. And I've cut this one out of some zebra glitter paper here. And I'll show you with, if I can find my little piercer here, there are these holes that cut out. So if you can see here, there's some holes on the end of here that cut out when you cut the die. I don't actually tend to use it to assemble your bow with a brad, and you can just place the brad right through those holes, and there's one on this one as well. Or you can use it to just line up, or you can not use them at all. And I tend to not use them at all. I've been playing a lot with these dies. I've had a lot of fun with them. I'm going to show you just how I assemble them, and this is with some glue dots. Now on the felt bow I use a little bit of hot glue, but on the paper bows I just am using glue dots, and I think it's just the easiest and fastest way to do this. And the glue dots are a really nice strong adhesive that, you know, keep this bow nice and together. So I just have a couple of glue dots on the end here. Now you can see this is a one-sided paper, so when you fold your bow over, if you look from the side, you're going to see white. If you wanted to layer two pieces of paper back to back so that you could see only the zebra when you peek inside the bow, you could do that. It doesn't really bother me, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. So I'm going to expose these glue dots here, and I hate these little things, they get stuck to me. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this into the center here and kind of use my finger to make it nice and round. And if you're using a firmer or a heavier cardstock, it's good to kind of condition the paper by running your finger over it. So you can see my bow taking shape there. Now this just attaches here. So I'll grab another glue dot and I'll attach it there in the center. If you have a one-sided paper like I have here, you're going to want to take it back and bring it around and just simply attach it then on the back side, just like that, with another glue dot. And voila, there's my little bow. And I just love this shape. I'm going to be using it all year round on birthday cards and little birthday treats and that sort of thing. I can see myself using this a lot, but that's the little bow there. So I'll get started on the rest of the card. I have my card base here. It's cut out of very vanilla cardstock from Stampin' Up! And I have this Hero Arts wood grain background stamp here. I'm going to ink up my stamp here with the Crumb Cake ink. And before I actually stamp it on the card base, I am going to stamp it off because I do not want the color too intense on the front of this card. So I'll just bring in a piece of scratch paper here and kind of quickly rub it over. And then I can bring my card base to the stamp itself, place it onto the stamp, and then just run my fingers over it again, making sure that I get that all covered and transferred to the paper. Next piece I'm going to do the same thing to is this little strip of very vanilla cardstock. It's going to be a banner on the front of my card. So I will just ink this up again, I'll stamp it off again, and do the same exact thing. So now I have a little bit of wood grain pattern on that banner shape, well, what will be a banner shape later. Now I'm going to bring in this doily shape, and it is from the Nice kit as well, and some Old Olive ink. I've cut it out of the old olive cardstock from Stampin' Up. I'm going to ink up this envelope pattern background stamp from Hero Arts, and I'm just using this to create a little bit of texture on this, because when I was creating this card, it was just a little flat, so I just wanted to add some texture. Now, if you had textured cardstock, that would be great. You could just cut it right out of the textured cardstock and skip this step. I just didn't happen to have it, so stamping it with this envelope pattern background stamp gives me the texture that I'm looking for without giving me too much of a pattern that's distracting. So you can see that there. And now I can start stamping my sentiment. So my sentiment is going to go on this piece here, and it's going to be embossed in gold. And I'm using the Technique Tuesday Jingle All the Way. I'm going to be using the Joy to the World sentiment. Prepare this cardstock before I stamp it with a little bit of my powder tool here, and that just keeps the embossing powder from sticking places that I don't want it. I will ink up my stamp with some Versamark ink. And I'm using the Martha Stewart stamp press here. It's a little bit smaller than the Fiskars Compact stamp press, and I like it a lot for greetings. Get this lined up on my grid mat and stamp it in the Versamark ink. I'll bring my scratch paper back in and use this gold embossing powder here for my sentiment. Now I can bring in my embossing tool and just heat set that. I'm going to bring in my scissors here, and I'm just going to do a preliminary cut on this one end here that it isn't stamped or anything, so it's not going to matter. And I'm going to use my scissors to create a V shape in the end of this, and I'm just kind of eyeballing my middle there, using my grid mat a little bit to help me. And I just cut a little slit up, and then I cut from both corners to that slit, and that gives me my banner shape. So there's that. Now I'm going to bring in a gold pen and just edge the banner shape with a little bit of gold pen just to tie in the gold a little bit more. So this is just a gold Zig, it says Zig Painting Metallic. It's just a gold paint pen, and you can use this on a lot of different surfaces, but I am just going to use it to kind of edge this banner shape and give it a little bit of contrast with the piece that's going behind it. So I can bring in my ruler, or you could just eyeball this, but I'm using the ruler to kind of keep me from going too far beyond what I want it to be. So I'm just going to use this ruler to kind of mask off a piece of this and just edge the edge of my banner with this gold pen. Alright, so I have my sentiment piece done, and now I can just start assembling my card. And the card really is not really hard to assemble. It's a lot of just putting these into place. So I'm going to take this doily shape first. I'm using a little bit of sticky thumb adhesive. This is adhesive carried by Lifestyle Crafts now, and so I'm just trying this out here. It rolls really nicely. And I'm just going to place this kind of over to the right hand side of my card and towards the bottom, right about like that. And then I'm going to attach this piece here that I've cut from the nice border die. I'm just going to connect it to the very bottom of this banner shape. So I'm going to put the adhesive onto the banner shape. And I'll just attach it right along the bottom here. Use my scissors to just trim this off, just like that. And then this piece will go onto the front of my card with some dimensional adhesive. And I can just kind of line along the bottom here where it won't be seen from the other side. You can't overlap the red piece too much because you will be able to see the dimensional adhesive from the other side. But I'm just going to put a few of these on here. Then I'm just going to put this over towards the right side of the card here. Kind of using my grid mat to make sure that this line is straight. So now I have that on the front of the card there. And then my final addition is just going to be to add my bow over this edge of the banner here along the side of the card. So I'm just going to use another glue dot to do that. Okay, and there is my card for today. It's super easy to put together, and I just love all the lacy shapes and the bow on it. You can check out all these new dies over at lifestylecrafts.com, and anytime you shop there, you can use the coupon code GLITTER to get 20% off your order. I'll have links to all the products I used on this card over on my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com, so I hope you'll visit me there. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.